Topping today's news, another statesman and signatory to the Bahamas Declaration of Independence passes away. Police sending out another stern warning that parents will be charged for children involved with gangs and crimes, and environment officials absolutely fed up with the indiscriminate dumping of cars and bulk waste. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jarino Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. He was a son of Acklands, a proud Bahamian, and one who took his cabinet assignments seriously, including a strict no-nonsense approach to immigration when he served as minister. A. Loftus Roker also played a major role in the lead-up to independence. He died in hospital on Monday. In his official statement released late Monday, Prime Minister Philip Davis described Mr. Roker as a distinguished statesman and an advocate for justice and security. Bahamas ambassador to the United States, Wendell Jones, also a descendant of Acklands, today shared some of his thoughts and memories of the late Loftus Roker.
Loftus Roker represented the quintessence of an Acklands man, a man of sterling character and integrity, a man of principle who detested corruption in all forms. No one could question whether or not he was a patriot. He had a nationalistic zeal that was admirable. He was a founding father of the Bahamas and guarded our identity and the patrimony of our country zealously. A hard-working, determined, and frugal man from delectable Bay Acklands. He was an exemplar of what an honest politician should be.
Ambassador Jones also spoke of the work and accomplishments of Mr. Roker while a cabinet minister.
He would be remembered for his exuberance as a minister of national security. He was extremely efficient in that ministry, feared and even revered, as he had in place strict policies for legal as well as illegal immigration in the Bahamas. And succeeding ministers of immigration in the Bahamas measured their effectiveness by his standard. But in speaking with Mr. Roker, his best work in government was in the Ministry of Works in the 1970s, putting in place the infrastructure in the various islands for the development of the Bahamas.
Mr. Roker first entered Parliament in 1968 when he won the Nicholstown and Barry Islands constituency. He was 88 years old at the time of his passing. Following two connected shooting incidents on Saturday that resulted in the deaths of a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old, police say they are now looking to prosecute parents of juveniles involved in criminal activity. On Monday, Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings revealed that police are considering taking legal action against parents as juvenile homicide cases become more common.
Fathers and mothers, godparents, you too have a role to play. Step up. Be the godparent that you vowed to be. But do not allow them to stay home and allow them to roam the streets. 11:15 at night. 15-year-olds roaming the streets. Parents, it's time for you to start parenting your children properly. And I can assure you, we're going to look and find areas within the statutes where we can also place you before the courts, because you have to be accountable for your children's actions.
The announcement comes after the Anti-Gang Bill 2024 was enacted in Parliament last month, an effort from the government to penalize parents harboring gang members. But Ms. Skippings says gang activity is not the only problem among juveniles. She is encouraging parents to be involved, more involved in your children's lives.
We cannot allow them to raise themselves and hope that they get it right. We have to show it to them. And for those parents who are saying, well, I don't know what to do, social services has parenting classes, and there are other agencies that have parenting classes that's more than willing to assist you so that we can minimize some of these incidents from occurring, especially within our young people.
Chief Superintendent Skippings clarifies that in the Quintine Alley and Thrushes Avenue homicides, parents are working with the police and their investigations. As cleanup initiatives continue across the country, officials are sending a clear message to those of you hoarding old, unusable vehicles. Shanti Richards, Special Projects Manager at the Department of Environmental Health Services, says those breaking the law should fear prosecution. He explains the removal of such abandoned vehicles is typically free, but problems arise when residents are hesitant to allow those vehicles to be removed.
When we have situations where people are reluctant for us to just come and remove the derelict vehicles from their property, or whether the derelict vehicle belongs to you or not, if the derelict vehicle is on your property or not, the Department of Environmental Health Services has the right by law to come, identify, remove those derelict vehicles. If you resist, then that is where consequences are applied. And it is such that a public health order will be served on the persons responsible, and we take you to the Environment Court.
Richard says once offenders are taken to the environmental court following their resistance, they themselves will be responsible for the removal of the vehicles and will also pay an environmental fine. Exactly how much that fine would be, Richards explains.
Generally, that depends on how long the nuisance exists for. Usually, if we serve you a public health order, whenever that order expires, from that point until the point where you reach before the magistrate, you are fined a certain amount of money per day. So that would depend on that.
Mr. Richards explains that derelict vehicles include abandoned cars, cars unlicensed for 1 year or more, cars with broken windows, missing parts, no engine, or overgrown vegetation surrounding the vehicle. Residents are urged to support the efforts of the environmental officials as they work towards a cleaner Bahamas. And finally, in this segment, while the government is serious about reversing the stigma that it is difficult to conduct business in the Bahamas, especially for foreign and local investors, Director of Investments at the Bahamas Investment Authority, Felicia Hanna, says the government is also trying to attract investors outside of the tourism industry.
What we have seen is that there's been a consistent flow in the area of tourism-related investments. And so although we want to continue with that, we want to also improve on other areas of investment. Having this efficient process is key to that. So we want to improve investment statistics and increase the inward flow of investments in the areas of manufacturing and agriculture in particular. And having investment packages for investors is very important for that.
According to Ms. Hanna, 60% of investments on the books are by people that have invested in the Bahamas before and are now reinvesting into the country. She says the government, through the Investment Authority, is looking to continue its aggressive investment promotion initiatives.
We have been aggressive with our promotion strategy. We have increased the visibility of the Bahamas globally as it relates to investment promotion. We have renewed our membership to the Caribbean Association of Investment Promotion Agency. In most instances, when investors are looking to invest in the Caribbean Investment Promotion Association of Investment Promotions Agency is the first point of contact, and so making sure that membership is important to making sure that we respond to those and we're able to market and put the Bahamas first out the gate for any calls for proposals or calls for investment opportunities by global companies.
The Investment Authority, which operates out of the office of the Prime Minister, is a one-stop shop designed to simplify investing in the Bahamas, assisting investors from application to completion. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.